So now we're ready to start disassembling the rest of the shaft. And this column, out of my truck, I have it's a 3-speed column shifted manual transmission. So that's why you see 2 shift arms on the end of my steering column here. If you have a floor shift truck, then you don't have any of these. If it's a factory floor shift, you shouldn't have any of these shift arms down there. If somebody put one of those auto parts store 3-speed floor shift conversion kits, then yeah, they didn't change out the column, most likely. If you have an automatic, then you're only going to have one of these shift arms. But they're all pretty similar. On here we have a little snap ring. This is the bearing retainer collar. There's a snap ring that holds it on. There's also 3 bolts. There, and another one right there. Use a 7/16 wrench or socket to get those off. This little snap ring, little spring clip, you can just pop that off with a screwdriver. It's not on there super tight, but it is one of those things, if you're not watching it and controlling it, it will fly off into the grass or under the deepest, darkest crevice of your workbench, and it'll be hard to find. So just keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't just spring off of there. And so we got to get those off of there, and then we can start pulling out some of these shifter pieces. Okay, after you get your 3 bolts out and your little spring clip, to get this collar off, you kind of need to line up your little shifter arms, and then it'll come right off. See, it's got a little kind of groove here. So if I tried to put it back on, well, it's interfering with this shifter arm. So line it back up, cram it on. Line it up, pull it off. And that's it. Okay, the bearing here on the end just slides off. There's a bearing and there's a little plastic retainer there too. So just a little bit of gentle prying with a screwdriver will get it off. And there it is, it's off of there. Like I said, it's a 2-part little bearing. The bearing separates from this little plastic retainer. So we got the bearing off, now we just need to get some of those little shifter pieces out of there. So these 2 outer little shifter pieces just come off. And I should say that now's a good time. If you haven't been taking pictures of how this is put together, you should be, and certainly at this point, because I'm going to take these off and clean all this up and paint the column and all that kind of stuff. And you want to make sure you get it on right, and you can always come back and reference this video if you want. But I've also been taking pictures, and you just want to keep in mind how the orientation is. For example, this little piece, you see how it's a little more radiused on the top side, and down here it's flat. So you just want to kind of reference how that goes in so that you put it back in there the correct way. So we take that out, that just pops right out. Same with this arm, just get it up in line, and that just slides right out. And then the other arms, we got to disassemble the rest of the shaft to remove those.